In the middle of the California desert, the most combat-hardened force in the history of the U.S. Army is relearning how to wage war. At Fort Irwin's National Training Center, Army brigades are going through a new, more intense training called decisive action. Officers say it's the toughest training ever devised.
Most of the soldiers and officers, non-commissioned officers within this brigade have not experienced anything like this. The environment is entirely new.
For the last decade, the military has been fighting a grinding counterinsurgency in Iraq and Afghanistan. Here in California, the Army is relearning to use its tanks again. The goal? To prepare the service for the complex hybrid wars it could face in the future. Decisive action training isn't just about the big guns, it's a hodgepodge of different kinds of wars. In addition to enemy tanks, the soldiers here must fight insurgents and criminal gangs while training partner security forces and keeping the local population happy.
Put the gun down, I have no gun, just potatoes. Come on.
It's hard to say what type of scenario they'll be facing, but what we try to do is create a scenario that puts them in a set of conditions that are routinely changing.
In one part of the training scenario, soldiers must clear a city of insurgents. Shooting the bad guys is the easy part. The hard part is doing it in a way that does not anger the locals. And when tempers flare, it's up to the commander on the ground to try to calm the situation. Combining those challenges with attacks and counterattacks using tanks and Bradleys will enable soldiers to preserve recently acquired combat skills and revive old ones.
Finding pieces of terrain to give you cover and concealment while talking on the radio and directing and coordinating fires, it's hard business.
Critics say the decisive action training looks too much like the Army's Cold War training, when tanks skirmished across a desert, preparing for a war in Europe that never came. But the officers who run the training center at Fort Irwin believe the precise scenario is less important than the overall experience. They say they aren't teaching soldiers what to think. They want to teach them how to think. For the Wall Street Journal, this is Julian Barnes at the National Training Center in Fort Irwin, California.